Hey, everybody, welcome to the Not Move podcast NBA basketball show, The Dribble. I am the doll-faced gremlin. We have Bags, Bando, and Tinez. How's everybody doing today? Bags, we'll start with you. How you doing, my friend?
Gang, gang. It's just another beautiful episode of the Not Move podcast, The Dribble. How's everybody doing this evening?
How you doing, Tinez?
I'm doing great, man. How are y'all doing?
What's up, Bando? How you doing, my friend?
I'm chilling. My Knicks is winning. That's what I care about.
Yeah, it's always your Knicks that are winning, if at least so you think, right, Bando? Because right now we'll hop right into it. Our boy Tinez has a little bit more problems than your Knicks at the moment. Our boy Tinez is dealing with a little bit of an injury bug there in Cleveland. Um, but he also has Donovan Mitchell looking rusty. Tinez, what's going on with your Cavaliers right now? They just can't. They're coming off of a loss, 5-5 in their last 10.
I mean, it's just sporadic. I mean, I wouldn't say it's really anything we can't clean up. There's some things we can clean up, but a lot of it is just sporadic. I mean, Jarret Allen, he's got a knee injury, which is making Evan Mobley have to overcompensate. I mean, I've said this before. I think Evan Mobley's a really good defensive anchor, but when it comes to really trying to be that center big man kind of guy, I just feel like it's not really his job to get that done. He doesn't have the size for it. It's just respect. I think he's definitely got the height, which makes him have the capability to do so, but I don't think it's what brings the full potential out of him, right? That's my thing. Like our big man is what's gonna help us get as far as we can go. And I feel like losing a guy like Jarret Allen like that not only doesn't really help Evan Mobley's case out because he has to overcompensate, but it doesn't really help things a lot out in the facilitating end because now it's making even Donovan Mitchell have to overcompensate with his scoring too. I mean, there's some games I'm looking at like the Magic where he went 9 for 24. I mean, the 76ers, yeah, he went like 4 for 11, but then the game prior, it was like 6, 7 for like 18. It was just, it's bipolar. Like to me, it's just, he's really have been for the past, I'd say, out of the 10 game, out of the 10, I'd say like how many games has he been right now playing? Like 4, I think this has been since he's been back. I'd say those 2 is where it's just been bipolar. 2 out of the 5 right now. It's just been a little bipolar. I think we can definitely clean things up, but the rest of our role players just got to be cohesive. Dennis Schroeder, he's not cohesive at all with the scheme. I feel like there's times where he just wants to do his own shit. His temps are terrible. His efficiency is horrible. I mean, he can facilitate at times, but that also depends on who we're facing. So right now, it's just below average. Like, and it's sad, but I feel like it'll be cleaned up soon. It's just got to take time, really.
Yeah, I mean, Donovan Mitchell last 3 games, all in March here, 8th, 9th, and 11th. First one against Boston, he put up 30 points. 9 of 18, 50% shooting overall. Then, of course, they went to win in Philly, but uh, that one was one of his
I just
worst
don't like the
games.
3 point shot chucking. I just don't like it because if you notice, like if you look at his 3 point percentage, like yeah, he may shoot great throughout the field, but then when you look at like his like actual shooting numbers, like his shoot, like what was his 3 point? What was it like 3 for 9, like three
Well,
for like
against the
12 or
last
like
Yeah, the last game against Orlando, that's where it was looking real bad. 4 for 13.
yeah.
He was just hucking it up from three there. But, um, more so to the point, it just seems like now there's a little bit of this bags. Maybe you can join me in saying it. Maybe the James Harden honeymoon period's over.
Yeah, I mean, knew it wasn't going to last too long. And a lot what Tina said is 100% true. Uh, the Jarrett Allen injury is going to hinder their defense in the interior, right, in the front court. He doesn't splash a lot offensively. I mean, he gets his 8 to 12 right on time. But it's more the defense. And to what Gribblin was saying is the honeymoon phase with James Harden is only going to last so long, right? And if he's not in the ISO, dribble the air out the ball, be able to take his guy one on one, and then just pass off the collapse or take the lane when it's available. He's not he's not that efficient because he needs repetition. He needs to do a lot of field goal attempts. You know what I mean, to catch a rhythm,
Right.
and then that gets into the disruption of Donovan Mitchell, right? Because
And
he's
see,
your best
I'm glad you said that.
overall
Yeah.
player.
Right, and I'm glad you actually said it like that because the thing is like it's not that Harden's playing bad right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think he will definitely have a bad performance eventually, but that's who knows, right? Like right now, I don't think he's been playing bad, but it definitely does show with other players on how really the scheme is going on right now. So I like how you do mention not just James Harden, but even a guy like Donovan Mitchell, guys like Jalen Tyson. I even got a point poke at Dennis Schroeder because Jesus Christ, the time when Donovan Mitchell was out, he did absolutely nothing. We picked up this guy to have depth in our guard, so he can be a proper facilitator and kind of do the very similar things like a James Harden that can do, pass more, help with the center out. Ugh, oh God.
I mean, I
Well,
understand. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, well, what I was going to say is I think with the James Harden honeymoon phase being over, I'm talking about look at the loss against Boston where, he is just absolutely getting mauled on defense.
Yeah,
Boston is keying in on him, picking him apart. They're saying, go ahead, Mobley, go ahead, Mitchell. We're going to go ahead and let you score. But we're going to go ahead and pick apart this other facilitator that you have and slow down the rest of your offense.
right, right. Yeah, and there's a lot of
And
times where that has happened. Even in the Knicks game, that happened too. Yeah, yeah.
So that's what
That's
I'm
been
talking
for a
about, where
while.
teams are finally keying in on,
Yep.
it was nice to see at first James Harden. It is always is because he's a great playmaker. We can't deny that. We all know it. Um, but, I think right now with the Cavaliers, these things are maybe not meshing and gelling. Like you said, injuries. This is taking a toll, but maybe teams are keying in, and I'm worried for you in the playoffs. But there's still plenty of games left, Tinez. Still plenty of games
Hmm.
left.
I
Yeah,
agree.
and
It's just gonna take time.
we're past the All Star break, so this is where the season really begins. Really, like,
Mm-hmm.
be
This is big
honest.
right now. We're in playoff basketball.
Everything's
Being
starting to slow
real.
down. You got to pull out your half court sets, but then also at the same time, you try to reserve, you know what I mean, your go tos, because
Yep.
when the playoffs start, you don't want to have that shit schematically already figured out, right? So I mean, it's a fine line that you got to kind of try to balance.
Actually,
And
speaking of go-tos, we got another team in trouble, don't we, Graham? On the West side, don't we?
Yeah, there's some problems happening, injuries at the wrong times. Real quick before we talk about that, Tinez, just to check in. Hey, Cavaliers are up 99-77 in the third quarter on the Mavs right now. Now, granted, it's they're
Hmm.
taking advantage of this Mavs team that's
yeah,
got Cooper Flag and who's a young guy finding his way. But hey, that's what good teams are supposed to do, right? So
Right.
they
yeah,
are up 99-77, and right now your scoring is all falling on Evan Mobley this game. He's
which I
looking really
want to see,
nice.
because that's another thing I wanted to bring up
Yeah.
about Jarret Allen being hurt. Is like when you do stumble upon these injuries like this is where you want to see Evan Mobley expand his game, right?
That's true.
Because he to me
Understand.
he's done hit his ceiling early, right? And he came out the gate 18-10, right? He was a double double guy out the gate, but 3-4 years later, bro, you're still at that threshold, right? And we know
Hmm.
3 years in the league, essentially you are who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get that much better if you do, right?
Right.
But I could see why he wasn't, because especially the last 2 years, he's done had Jarret Allen there in the front court with him. So he doesn't have to be that guy. But when the opportunities like now present themselves and Jarret Allen is on the bench and you're out there getting the bulk of the minutes and you're playing the primary defender and offensively player in the front court, I don't want to see 18 and 10. I don't. Right? I want to see 12, 23 and 14, 23 and 12, right? I want to see a little bit, just give me a 4 point increase and a 2.5 rebound per game increase while he's on the bench. And that'll show me that, okay, it's not you just coasting the ride, right? And just living
Right.
off of the equity and the
Yeah, you're actually
IQ
trying to
and,
impact and floor
right.
raise the team. Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly one of the biggest things that I think that is with Evan Mobley. I'm actually glad you said it. It's one of the biggest points that I actually bring with Evan Mobley. To me, Like a lot of people say, like Donovan Mitchell's really like the guy for our team. I really see being more Evan Mobley. I mean, he to me is right now like for a big man a really big floor raise for our team. I mean, he made our team. It was shit from absolutely great. I mean, I've never really seen a guy like Evan Mobley year in, year out being as efficient as he is. Even though, yeah, there is some little injury bugs that he gets here and there, but they're not major injuries where I'm seeing this guy out a whole season, right? I mean, yeah, there's some times where he's going to get his 60, 70 game seasons, but that's normal for a big man like him who's very versatile, both offensively and defensively. So, I mean, hey, if he's working and keeping it up, I just hope that he really just starts getting the volume more. It's like
But
you said, it's more the volume for me, and I hear you, but that also has to come with him and his size, though. I mean, this guy, believe it or not, yeah, he may be 6'11", but he only like 215, 220. If
Damn.
you really look at him. Yeah, he's really not that big.
That's a small
Gremlin,
big man. That's a small big man.
do you think that you can win a championship with your franchise guy being a big?
No.
No,
It depends
Hell.
on the situation. I can't say yes or no. It
depends.
all depends on how he's
I
surrounded.
don't know.
We've seen it
Yeah.
succeed and we've seen it not succeed. So like right now, I mean, we'll see this year the judgment on Bam Adebayo. He's a small big man.
I feel like
Um,
with that
Give me an
situation,
ins-
it's gonna have to be a long-term answer because I mean you
give
gotta
me
remember
an,
the bag. Evan
I
Mobley
mean,
hasn't played in like
Shaq.
7 years.
Shaq is a prime example, but that's
Yeah,
a long time ago. The most notable
Hakeem.
example, I guess, is AD right now is one of those ones that they built around in New Orleans. It worked until they traded him, obviously, in the midst of their
Mm-hmm.
success. Dwight
they
Howard
didn't
with the
win. They
Magic
didn't
they
win a chip
built
though.
around, they didn't win a chip. Yeah,
Also,
even
also
during
Hakeem
Dwight Howard's run, no
Olajuwon.
chip. Uh,
Also Hakeem.
I think
I,
Hakeem is probably the last.
Shaq, Shaq and
Well,
Akeem.
no, I wouldn't count Shaq because Shaq had Kobe.
And well, Tim Duncan, I would
mm,
say as well, was one that they built the team around, the big man,
Very
the
true.
playmaking big man. Dirk Nowitzki as well, that is one, but he's more of a power forward, not such a traditional, center big man like we're
Well,
kind of referencing here.
I would count.
yeah, but
I
not
count
no.
them
Evan Mobley's
as a
not
big
even
as
a
well.
true center. That's the thing. Evan Mobley wasn't even a true center. He was drafted out of as a power forward too. He just plays center when Jarret Allen's only injured.
But
That's the thing.
that's still a front court position. That's what I mean, right? Like
Yeah, that's fair. I could say that. Yeah, you
with
could say that.
Giannis, right? Like even though Giannis was the guy, he was the franchise guy. He
Right.
got the bag, and yes, he's got MVP. I think got two of them if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But
No, I get what you're trying to say.
when it came down to them winning that chip, Chris Middleton was more like offensively important because of the crunch time buckets,
He
right?
was.
Like I don't know, and was my argument when I said to me, I take skill set into a very important decision and differentiation why I would say somebody's better, right? Like I would take KG over Giannis, right? Giannis might have him on points on the box, but KG's skill set of being able to score multiple different ways offensively and being just effectively as he is defensively as Giannis, that's why I would give KG the edge. So like I think it's hard to give all the bag to the front court player when at the end of the day, it's you can't hand him the ball, right? And tell him to bring the ball down at like or inbound it at half court with 5 seconds and expect him to get a shot off that's efficient anyway because that's not their skill set. They need to get downhill,
Depending on the shot selection,
transition,
true. Yeah.
right, lobe in the post. I just I like guards. I think guard
And I'm
play
kind
and
of glad you
perimeter play
mentioned
is
that
more
because
important.
we have been doing that more with Evan Mobley recently too. I don't know if you guys really keep up a lot with the Cavs games, but there is a lot more times where he has been shooting more perimeter at some games than even inside, which is actually very strange to me. But I feel like that's just them trying to get advantage of him being much more of a perimeter scorer as well.
Well, we'll go ahead and put a pin in the Cavs for right now until next week because who knows? We met this story that we're looking at right now, them battling the injury bug and maybe having to adjust and having some woes. But we are unfortunately going to keep it in the injury talk. Bando, our boy Steph Curry, over with the Golden State Warriors. We found out that he is going to be out just a little bit longer. They're saying possibly another 10
10
days,
days.
stretching
Yeah,
stretching 5 more games, which how convenient he might be back for a game against Kaminga and the Hawks.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Steph Curry is up there in age. He's what, 37? He's
Mhm.
37 now.
Mhm. Correct.
He's Yeah. Steph Curry is explosive, but he's not how he was years ago. He's not that MVP type of player. Like Curry, he getting old. He's especially with injuries this late in your career, and also the injuries you dealt with earlier in your career with the ankles. With the ankle, that takes a tear on your body, especially at this age, at 37, 38 years old. Me personally, I feel like Steph Curry is not the same player anymore.
Um, I, I may push back a little bit on that as far as I still think the shooting is pretty much there. His effective field goal percentage is just still hovering right around the same number it's been at for the last 5 years, which is above 58%. Right, actually 57%, but right now it's 58. I think also too it has a lot to do with this Warriors team. Maybe not quite being able to find their footing since maybe the cast isn't what they want it to be. Jimmy Butler's injured. That has a lot to
Hmm.
do with it. Um, so I also think that has a lot to do with it. Just besides Steph maybe getting up there in age. Um, Tinez or Bags with this Steph injury. What do you think this does for the Warriors right now with this time them being out?
I mean, it's nature, right? The older we get in sports, where you can't bounce back from the injuries as quick, you know? And like Bando said, what is he, 36, 37? And that's a lot of tread, on them lower extremities for basketball, because what we do know is basketball is a cardio sport. You need to be constantly moving up and down, up and down. And Steph Curry's been one of the best off-ball players, keeping movement and going through and
Hmm.
coming off the screens his whole
Yeah.
career, right?
Yeah.
It's like, bro, if you got to stick Curry that night, you better get a good night's sleep, because best believe your legs are gonna be burning by the end of the game. And
Yeah, but at the same time too, it does kind of make a little bit some uncertainty and
Tinez,
questions on
Tinez,
how they're gonna
Tinez,
really
Tinez,
scheme, especially during the playoffs.
Tinez, Tinez, my brother. Thank you. Like,
My
I
bad.
get what Gremlin's saying, right? The numbers are still there, right? He's not gonna be. You're not gonna get him for 70, 75 games a year like you did a couple years ago. You didn't get that in the beginning of his career, right? Due to the ankles injuries and shit, right? So we know who he is. Can we stick out another 2 years, 3 years with him playing maybe about 55 to 60 games a year? Try to keep the minutes in between 34, 36 minutes a game. Sure. But where you mess up at? It was the management of Kaminga, right? Kaminga was supposed to be the guy after they already had the Jordan Poole debacle, because that was supposed to be the first guy to take over the reins, right? But then the whole Draymond Green situation went down, so they had to ship him out. Then they had Kaminga, and he's got 16 do not plays, and he's fully healthy. Like, I don't know what Steve Kerr had, in for Kaminga, but you didn't play him at all. Like, you're supposed to give a little bit of leeway to these young guys, because you're not in championship win now mode, right?
Yeah, rebuild
Because you don't
mode.
have the roster for it. So it's all about Bob Myers retiring in the way he did, right? And I think the coaching of Steve Kerr. But the injuries with Steph Curry are going to continue to happen. He's 37. So just got to take that for what it is.
Well, also too, I think before Tinez, I want to hear what you have to think about it. I think Kristaps Porzingis not being fully unlocked yet with this squad, that has a little bit to do with it. They're still trying to figure out these new pieces, trying to put together as well. And with Curry out, it doesn't look like the pieces are really being able to be figured out. They're losers of three currently. They're looking really awful in the last 10 as well, 3-7. They do have a game tonight at 10 p.m. against the Timberwolves, who, luckily the Timberwolves are kind of looking bad as well, Tinez. But when Steph Curry does come back, he's got to find his mesh with this offense, Tinez. He's got to start something here. This
Right.
team needs
Yeah.
him, especially being in a 9 seed right now and a play-in yet again.
Yeah. And that's kind of my whole point. I mean, when you're rushed to be in this play-in, especially in this particular spot, it's kind of it's really a detriment to just sit and say that you gotta have to sit out for 10 games, because especially you're right now in the home stretch. I mean, we got literally, I think we pretty much are already at less than 30 games left of basketball. I'm pretty sure, right, folks?
It's less than 20.
Is it less than 20?
Yeah, I
Less
think
than
it's
20
8.
games.
I think the most is 18.
Okay. I mean, so yeah, that's not really a lot of time. I mean, you got 8 games to get refreshed, and then you gotta go play in the play-in. I mean, especially where the Clippers are looking right now, bro. I don't know. Because that's another
And
team
Kawhi
where
been on the
they
hot
have
streak
been
too.
really impressive coming out of their way and getting up in at least they're right now what? The Clippers went to the 7th or 8th seed now.
Clippers are above them at the 8th seed right now.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
Clippers
pretty sure they're
winners of
one of the
3.
first teams to do that. They're one of the first to actually do that in such a short span of time. So I gotta give Kawhi and Darius their credit. I gotta give Darius his credit, especially coming out of an injury like that and getting traded and all that. Especially with all the mental shit. It's really cool to see what he's doing, especially for that team, especially for it just slowly chipping away. So I like it. But at the same time, it doesn't really look good for Golden State, especially for how they are looking for the play-in as well. I just feel like it's really going to boil down to what we're going to see at the end of the season. To me, when it comes to a guy like Steph Curry, I can't really sit and tell you how he is or is not going to be.
Well, right now we're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hit all our sponsors, to hit our shows for Not Move Podcast. So everybody sit tight and we'll be right back.
No, but Friday nights, 9 Eastern, it's the Dribble NBA edition on the Not Move Podcast. We break down the week, the trades, the highlights, everything around the league. Tap in, chop it up with us, and get the takes that move the game forward. Stay not moved.
If you're craving baseball talk that doesn't flinch, tap in with us Monday nights at 8 Eastern.
It's the Rusty Mitt MLB edition of the Not Move podcast. Breakdowns, debates, all the swings and misses without the fake fluff.
Join us live or catch the replay wherever you get your pods. Rusty Mitt, not moved. Stay not moved.
Tap into the Not Move podcast every Friday night at 8 Eastern.
We're bringing the scrap sheet, UFC edition.
Every jab, every takedown, every headline.
All the fights, all the drama, all the picks, right here.
Watch live on YouTube or listen anywhere you get your podcast. Hit follow, hit subscribe.
And stay not moved.
Tuesday nights just got louder. Ringside Rewind is live every week, 9 Eastern.
We're breaking down Raw, SmackDown, and everything leading into the weekend. If it happens between the ropes, we're talking about it.
Deep dives, hot takes, and a few surprise
And
replays.
a whole lot of arguing.
Yeah, but the good kind. Ringside
Every Thursday night, the Not Move podcast drops a new episode of
In the Wicked,
our deep dive on everything around the NHL.
We break down the plays, the trades, the stats, and the stories that matter.
Plus a few hot takes along the way.
Join us live at 8 p.m. Eastern or catch it on your favorite podcast app right after.
Same energy, same on.
The world's game has a new home. Tap into the Not Move podcast every Sunday night at 9 Eastern. It's the football edition, and I'm bringing you the L Uncle Max attack, everything World Cup, every angle, every goal. Breakdowns, laughs, and all the passion in the pitch. Stay locked, stay ready.
Morning bettors, welcome back to Angling the Odds on the Not Move podcast.
Every Monday and Friday, we tear into lines, probabilities, and hidden edges across the boards.
We run the numbers, chart the trends, and find value plays so you can tilt the odds your way.
Live at 10:30 Eastern. Mark it, lock it, and join the conversation.
All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Real quick, we are going to talk about our friend New York's finest bandos, Knicks. Knicks, the winners of their last game. They're 6-4 in their last 10. And of course, the Knicks are playing the Pacers right now. That game is 83-79 Knicks. So just have to say, Bando, your Knicks gelling together, of course, doing what they can to bust into this last break into the playoffs. They are currently sitting third overall, right behind the Celtics, who we are going to touch upon next with our main man Bags. But Bando, how are you feeling about your Knicks right now?
I feel good about them. We started the season off. We started the season off hot. Then in the middle of the season, we had a bad month where we played horrible. Kept losing back-to-back games, winning some games, losing some. But as of right now, later on in the season, we pick it back up, and especially in playoffs, we play physical basketball during the playoffs. So I'm nothing to worry about. I'm not worried about the Celtics. I'm not worried about Detroit. I'm not worried about the Cavs. I'm not worried about none of those teams.
Well, I mean, for me, the Knicks are still possibly. I mean, they're my favorite to come out of the East. They were my favorite before the season, but Tinez, I'm sure you and your Cavs might have a little bit to say. Unbiased opinion, Tinez, seeing this Knicks team, what do you think if your Cavs are matched up against them?
I mean, it's always a great matchup to face off with them, honestly. I think they're actually a pretty good team. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't really like the Knicks, but I'm not gonna sit and say they're a bad team. They have a very decent defense actually, more than not. I love the perimeter. I just feel like sometimes I feel like Cat just struggles, but that also can be sometimes that he's just bipolar more than not. Jalen Brunson's kind of been the same right now recently, but I feel like he's gonna clean that up. I feel like a lot of it is just a lot of just competition, just battling it out. I mean, you've been facing the Celtics, you've been facing the Cavs, you faced the Thunder, you faced the Spurs. They've been facing a lot of crazy teams right now. So I mean, like I said about my team, I'm just saying it about Bando. I think it's just about slowly just chipping it away to the end. I mean, that's really just what it's all about. So I mean, and right now they've been doing it a little bit better. So I gotta give it props. I gotta give them the props.
Yeah, the Knicks, they still have that Nova core, basically, with Brunson, Hart, Mikal Bridges being there.
We're just missing
Uh,
one player.
Yeah, you're just missing one player, but I like your bench a lot better this year too compared to last year going into the playoffs. And Bags, one of their main competitors, which you wanted discussed today, which I think is great that you're bringing up, is the Boston Celtics had Jason Tatum finally come back. Um, Jason Tatum, of course, was injured from that tear for basically the whole year, and he is being inserted into this Boston team for this playoff push. So, what are you thinking here, Back? Did they bring back Jason Tatum too early?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. If he's medically cleared, he's medically cleared. I just know the Achilles isn't anything to joke around with. Especially in football and basketball, any sport in general, but especially football and basketball, because you have to make those quick, tight turns and explosive plays. Now, he looks pretty good. I will give him that. Nowhere near as explosive as he was before, but that's remained to be seen because, of course, it's an Achilles. I pretty much was essentially just asking, okay, him coming back this late into the season, going into the playoffs, I get they're going to have a few games, 15 to 20 games to get him acclimated. But is it worth potentially re-injuring and losing him for more time to come in the future? And also, is that throwing like a monkey wrench into what the gel and, the rotation that you have right now going into the playoffs? I think that's a dangerous and very volatile decision to make because, like I said, two reasons: the chemistry and the potential injury. I would feel so much better if he would have remained out for the rest of the year. They took their shot with Jaylen Brown at the helm, like they've been doing, and they've been very successful all year. They've been fighting between, four at lowest. I think they were the fourth seed for the pretty much majority of the year, up to the second seed. So you're balancing in between 1 and 4 with missing one of your cornerstone franchise guys. I think that's a very successful season. Now, let's just see if he can push it deep into a playoff run. Now, if you get to the Eastern Conference Finals and then Tatum has been in practice for a good solid 3 to 4 weeks and you want to implement him there to try to give that little boost over, to make it to the chip, sure, I could see that. But I just think, less than 12 months in a calendar year on an Achilles, and you're getting ready to try to, use him as a key pivotal player to make a deep playoff run. I just don't think the risk is worth the reward.
Yeah, I mean, like we can talk about this yesterday. The Tatum, I believe, had an off day against the Thunder. They gave him a rest game, and we saw Jaylen Brown, of course, pick up steam again. He had 34 in a close game, a close loss to the Thunder.
Didn't he get
1-0.
thrown out that game too? If I'm not
Uh,
mistaken.
yeah, I think you're correct. I'd have to go back and look, but
He was
close
going back and
game.
forth with the refs.
That's a close game, and that's a contender. And Tinez and Bando, if I'm you, I'm worried about that Boston team, especially showing that sign against that game against the Thunder with Jason Tatum not even being in the lineup.
Yeah.
Hold on, you think I'm worried about the Celtics? The
You
last
should
time
be.
we played them, it was 89 to 100 something Knicks.
Yeah, and that was the series where Tatum tore his Achilles.
No, I'm talking about this season.
I'm talking about in the playoff series, though.
Playoffs, I'm not worried about them in the playoff series. I'm not worried about them.
Okay.
That's a bold statement. I'll say that right there.
Matter of fact,
That's a little
since
bold.
we're on the Knicks, since this is gonna be my monkey wrench question, right? My hot take, because I've been real. I've been standing on business with this. Yeah, I think Maxey has been better the last 2 years than Jalen Brunson. Not team success. I'm talking about individual play. I think Tyrese Maxey, on both sides of the ball, is better than Jalen Brunson for the last 2 years.
Both sides of the
Anybody
ball, they're
disagree?
both liabilities on defense. How are they both on both sides of the ball? They're the
Comparative
same
to
on
the
defense.
league, yes. Yes, comparative to the rest of the league, you're 100% right. They're both bad defenders. But
They're very
Maxey is a
close.
better defender. Not by much, but
It's
that margin
close.
has to count for something.
Yeah.
There's both cones.
Yeah, but he's saying as a whole though, like I get what he's trying to say, and he's actually not wrong by saying that. That's not crazy.
But saying Maxey has been better than Jalen Brunson in these last 2 seasons is crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Bando. For a guy who has watched Maxey, he is pretty good. He is. He's very efficient. There is some times where he has some bad performances, and yes, lately he has been coming off a bad stretch because of the injury. I get it, but if we're looking at him as a whole player, especially for the past 2 years, oh yeah. There has been some times where Maxey has been doing his thing. I mean, for the past 2 years, he's giving you about 25, 30 piece,
And
7
I'll
and
say,
5.
yeah, and I'll say this about Maxey: if you give him some time in the playoffs, actually, especially, in the 6 games he played in what was that 2 years ago, um, he's gonna ball out and play better defense. He played much better defense in the playoffs compared to the regular season. Yes, it's only a 6 game sample size in the round they lost, but still, he played much better and was clearly the best player on the court for the 76ers, losing that series. Now, Jalen Brunson, on the other hand, he gets much worse defensively, but where he does get worse defensively, he opens up the game with his playmaking ability, in my opinion, where I see him being able to, do that Jalen Brunson thing where he uses that twitchy movement of his, the head bobs. He's really a unique point guard. Uh, so at Bag,
That's crazy footwork.
he does have crazy footwork, but Bag, I mean, it is a good question. But it's hard for me to choose. I really like Tyrese Maxey, 25-year-old on the up, and I like Brunson, who's 29 and just hanging out in his peak. It's a great question. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm picking Brunson any time of the day.
I mean, Brunson's on a better team.
Especially in the
We know that.
playoffs. Especially in the playoffs.
I see. When they played each other in the series, I want to say 2024. I think it was.
We didn't play them in 2024 in the playoffs.
No.
You
We didn't play in
sure?
2024. We played them in 2020. What was it? 20. I believe it was 2023.
3.
I think it was 2023 first round or second round.
That's even so. That's the year when Maxey kind of just took over. That's when.
Yeah, and Brunson was firing him.
In that series, that's what I'm saying. The series that they played each other, I'd have to give the edge to Brunson just because of the clutchness, right, of that series. But the overall play, I'd give the nod to Maxey. But they won the series, and Brunson did some big shots in the closeout games. So he's more clutch. I give him that. But just overall body work in the last 2 seasons, in the 7 important statistical category, the key stats, Maxey's beating him 5 out of 7. Like offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, points per game, assists per game, usage, and what was the other key one? Defensive efficiency rating. And he's got him, I think, by like 0.2% or some shit like that, or 2% in whole. It's close, but Maxey's got him.
It's not even a big difference.
But it is when I'm averaging more points per game. I'm averaging,
Well, in the
assists more a
regular season or
game.
in the playoffs?
And I mean, I don't know exactly if it's, I'm sure it's including the playoffs as well, but I just know it was for the last 2 seasons when I
Brunson
did the
has a higher
comparisons.
points per game. Has a higher points per game than him in the playoffs. Last year
Yeah,
he
in the
averaged 30.
playoffs.
He averaged
Yeah,
32 and
sure.
30.
But you see how you're trying to isolate just the playoffs.
And last year he averaged what? Last year regular season, I believe he averaged
26,
29.
24.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
statistically, Jalen Brunson on the offense has averaged better, but
that's what I'm saying.
we're looking at, a bit more of a larger sample size in the past since Dallas, really. He's been in the playoffs every year since 2021, whereas Tyrese Maxey has only been in um, 4
One
times.
time.
And one of those runs being, this last run, which was 6 games, which was a small sample size, but I do think we have to point out with Tyrese Maxey, he was the main component to that run with the Philadelphia 76ers. But New York Knicks, they're nothing to slouch out, especially Jalen Brunson. I still think if you have Jalen Brunson at your helm with that healthy defense backing him up, we're always going to see tough competition. Um, and I know Bando is always going to be rooting for them, especially knowing that who they've got to be playing coming up. So the Knicks right now, we'll do a quick update. Fourth quarter with 3 minutes left are up 88-86 on the Pacers. So uh, got to get your team back in order right now tonight. Now, as far as some of the other things we want to discuss is SGA right now is currently being picked as the favorite or second favorite, depending on which wagering sites that you're looking at. Always use our friends as well. Better Betters as well will tell you he's been looking at the numbers. Our friend Better Betters, who does his NBA shows in the mornings, talking about just the straight numbers and where you want to angle all the odds. Right now, Shea Gilgeous is currently tied with Jokic for the MVP race. They keep going back and forth. It's like right here, right
It's
here,
gonna
right
be
I
here.
don't
Jokic.
like it. I
It's
don't
gonna be
like it.
Jokic.
I don't like. Yeah, it should be Jokic,
It's gonna be
man.
Jokic.
I mean,
I
right
think
Jokic is
I
gonna.
now,
really do.
right now, I'm with you guys. I think it's going to be Jokic. Obviously, the third one, which I'm surprised that Luka Doncic is in third place given everything this year. I thought Cade Cunningham would have been more higher up, given Cade's emergence as a premier player. And also, just on the cusp, but equally as important, I think deserves maybe
All
a little bit more look is Victor Wembanyama.
Graham, all I'm gonna say is this: Jokic and the Spurs, 30, 20, and 12. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. This shouldn't be this.
Let's
Come
let's
on,
let's
dog. What
let's
are we
let's be
doing,
let's
dude? What are we
hold on, Tinez.
doing? Just give
Let's
him the
let's let's be
trophy. Just
real.
here.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Let's be
Jokic
real.
is winning
Come
MVP.
on,
Hold on.
dog. It's getting
Jokic is winning
thicker.
MVP. He's winning MVP. If they give it to SG, they're just glazing him
No,
at this
you're
point.
not gonna tell
They're
me
just
anybody
glazing
expected
him at
that.
this point. They're
Like,
just
I'm
glazing
sorry, but
SG at this point to
I
give him
know,
MVP.
that guy. Yeah, top left. Sorry, the whole screen's inverted. He wouldn't predict that. I know you would not predict that. I know you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
If I'm
I
being
mean,
honest, bro, SG's doing basketball. If I'm being
20,
honest,
20 boards? 20?
by Jokic,
Yes. He almost had a 30, 20, 15 game, bro. I'm being so dead serious.
I know, but they want to go ahead and let's glaze SGA. Let's do this with SGA. Let's do this with
Like, don't get
SGA.
me wrong, I get it. I don't
I
even
don't like
think Victor was there, but
SGA.
I know Vassell and Castle were definitely there that game. I know Fox was definitely there that game. They all had. I'm pretty sure they had almost everybody there but Victor.
Like I don't understand the SGA hype.
I'm sorry,
I don't
bro, but
understand
that's
it. He's
diabolical.
ruining bad. If I'm being, he's ruining basketball. He's ruining it.
And
He's
you
making
know
it
how what
boring.
I said last week about that Spurs team. That is absolutely, bro. That reminds me of what Steph Curry did in Game 7 to the fucking OKC Thunder. You know how terrifying that fucking shit is.
well, man, I
Nothing.
can see it's getting you real heated up, but uh, I will say this. One thing you want to talk about, since I think SGA belongs in the same conversation, we're going to do a quick topic on one of the teams that I spoke on last week. The Heat. The Heat are back. The Heat are coming back. They're storming back to get in the standings, to get into a better playoff position. The last 10 games, the Heat have been on fire. They're 8-2, winners of their last 7. And of course, we all know what happened just a few nights ago. Bam Adebayo getting his 83
Oh my
points.
god.
Of course, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about this. I think this is going to be something good for us all to have a quick discussion on. Bando, I want to start with you on Bam's performance.
I'm not moved by it.
83 points,
I'm not moved
9
by it.
total rebounds, plus 20 for the game, and a 60.5 game score, which is actually obviously really impressive. What did you think about this performance, Bando?
Me personally, I'm not moved by it when you're up the whole game and you're just chucking up shots when you shoot 20 for 40 something from the field, and then you're shooting 36 free throws, making 36 out of your 43 free throws attempts, and then you're shooting 7 for 22 from the three. I'm not impressed by that. I'm not impressed. You were just shot chucking the whole game.
Bro, that's
Playing the
the most
Wizards.
haterish shit I've ever
It's
heard.
not. It's not hater. It's not
It
hater. It's
is.
what it is. He was up though. You're up the whole game. You just shot chucking, just patting your points.
So
I guess a trash Wizards
He
fan.
was less. I'm pretty sure he was less than 30% from three. It was like
Literally, he
almost
was. He
less than
shot 7 for
25.
22. He shot 7 for
Yeah.
22 from three. You're just chucking up shots.
yeah, but the thing is that at the end of the day, 83 is 83. Whether you
It's the way how
shot
he did it. It's
36
the
or
way how he did it.
42, I get it. But the thing is that you still got to score 83 points though, bro, in the NBA game, right?
In the
Like,
game that you're already up.
what does that mean? You still have to score the buckets, don't you, Bando?
What was this? It was 120 something to what? 150 something?
So the
Yeah.
final score was 150 to 129 against the
Come on.
Washington
Come on. Come
Wizards.
on. Come on. You just start patting your points up. You just start patting your points. You start patting your
I
points. You
get
start
it. Was it the
patting
was it the best competition? No.
It
Was it
wasn't.
fluid and efficient?
It was very
No.
inefficient.
Right. But at the end of the day, bro, he scored 83. Like, I'm not a huge. I didn't think he was capable of doing something
And
like
he's an
that.
inconsistent player.
He is. He is. That's why when they went away, uh, when Jimmy left, and they said, "Okay, Tyler Hero, you're going to be the guy." That fizzled out really quick, and then they switched and said, "Okay, well, at least we got Bam. We're going to go with Bam." I said, "Well, Bam doesn't have the skill set." This is why I posed that question earlier. Do you think you can have a big man as your franchise guy and think that he's going to lead you to the promised land? I just
No,
don't. I don't think Bam has the skill set.
he doesn't.
But
He's
I
a
still
me.
got to tip my cap to him and say, yo, 83 is impressive, my guy.
I'm not impressed by it.
Tinez, what are your thoughts on the Bam game? Now recorded, obviously, for the official NBA record books as the second highest scoring individual game.
I see both sides to it. I do, because I personally don't like it, but I get what Bagg is saying. I mean, 83 points is 83 points. And yeah, you got to give him his flowers because that's not an easy thing to do. I get that. But at the same time, bro, a third of almost a quarter of it being free throws, though, Bagg? Are we moved by that? Are we really moved by that?
Come on.
Like I get it. Look, I get it, right? And I'm not gonna sit and act like no bullshitter and sound like that shit's easy. But at the same time, bro, come on.
But
The way
we're
he did
giving
that was
all
not
this
good, bro.
creed.
I get it,
Time
but the
out.
way he did was not good.
But we're giving all this creed and props to SGA for, scoring 30 points a game, being the MVP
That's true
when
too.
he's averaging 12 to 13 points or free throw attempts, right?
Hmm.
Like at
Yeah.
what point
There's
do
the
we
line of the sand drawn, yeah. I get what you're
yeah,
saying.
like I said, like I get okay, Kobe, D Wade, guys like that who pump fake, get you in the air, and then bump into you underneath that way. That's an old school and one, or try to get to get to the line. I'm cool with that. But after James Harden and how Luca and SGA are doing it, just full fledged running into guys and just going into the shooting motion as they're running into them to get to the line, it's asinine, bro. I don't. So now because Bam is doing that to get his 83 and most of his points are coming off of free throws, you can't have a double standard, bro. You got to stand 10 toes on one or the other.
That's true too.
And I do want to bring up, that lineup that the Heat started that night was Bam. I'm not going to say his name properly, his last name, so I'm going to say Kasparis. Bam, Kasparis, Gardner, Larson, and Mitchell. Without Hero, Jovic, Powell, and Ware playing, Bam is easily the best player on this roster that night. He is easily the one that they know to key in on. He is easily the person who is the best player on the court. Okay. We can look at the Wizards team to stack against that. You're only combating what? You have Will Riley, Carrington, Koulibaly, Johnson, and Sarr. You don't I'm sorry, but the Wizards are also at fault here. If we're so mad that this person is scoring 83 points in the game, why aren't the Washington Wizards mad? Why aren't they
Yep.
mad enough to try and stop him in the game, for one? And number two, if we want to say free throws, he had so many free throws. Well, isn't the point of a big man to get the rock and try and get free throws? Try and get an extra bucket and then get sent to the line for free throws. I know when I played basketball, I was always taught that when you get the ball to the big man, he's going to try and put it up and get fouled at the same time.
Yep. Easy buckets or get to the line to get him in
So
foul trouble.
I don't like faulting Bam for he's not a referee. It's not like he's sitting there tipping them off and being like, "Hey guys, I'm feeling 83 tonight. Give me 43 throws." I don't like those type of arguments just because now the officiating, we can question the officiating 100%. Yes, that is something that can be questioned just because it's so terrible and inconsistent across the board for the NBA. That is a big problem. But Bam, I have to give credit where credit is due. And I think more along the line too, I think the thing that is people who are the most upset are the Kobe fans right now. The Kobe Bryant fans are the most upset as their guys now no longer looked at as the second highest scoring game in NBA history, which to me, Kobe fans shouldn't be upset because there's only two people to score 80 points in a game. Three if you count the 100-point game by Wilt, but I'm talking 80 points as the recorded stat. It's Bam and Kobe, and it's not too bad, I'd say, Kobe fans. I think it's all right to hang your hat on 81 points.
I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest,
and
Gremlin.
because Kobe did it mostly in damn near 3 quarters.
Literally.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
comeback win. And a comeback win.
That is true.
Yeah, that is true. But I do think what Bam did is impressive. I just want to say overall, I think what's more impressive though is the Heat right now. The Miami Heat right now, they are a thorn in the Boston Celtics and New York Knicks side. And it's you guys better watch out because it seems like they are on their way back. Now,
That's
Bag,
bad news. That's bad news for your team, for your Charlotte team.
hey man, my
Bad news for
Charlotte
you, not
team.
me.
My Charlotte team, winners of the last two, they are currently sitting in the 10th position and swapping back and forth. Looks like they're probably going to swap with the 76ers, just given the Sixers have just looked really off lately. It's not looking good for my Hornets, but, we're still going to keep trying here. We're still going to keep trying. We've got what we can break into, which is a perfect segue, is Con Knipple, one of the Rookie of the Year candidates. My boy Con shooting the threes out in the corners, doing his his one trick pony, which I'm fine with. But overall this year, it's still looking like Cooper Flag might possibly win the award. Bags, who are you looking at to win the Rookie of the Year award right now?
I'm with you. I'm with Knipple. I mean, the favorite is Flag, but I mean, he's doing that with nobody else. Right? If I'm not mistaken, he's averaging 20 and 8, I think Flag is, and Knipple is like 19 and a half on like 6. And
Yes.
he's doing that with two other guys that's in front of him, right? LaMelo Ball takes more shots than him, and so does Brandon Miller, right? So if you're going to tell me as a third option, you're dropping almost 20 a game, opposed to the guy who's the number one option, and he's only giving you 20 a game, and Knipple's doing it more efficiently. He's in the 40 something from the field.
No, he's shooting
And I
50
think
something from the field. He's shooting 50 something from the field.
that's even better, right? Like I know it's threes. He's like
It's
42.
literally borderline 50.
His efficiency, his effective field goal percentage is 62.
Yeah, his true shooting I think is like
He's a
fucking
rookie.
54.
He's a
This is
rookie.
a rookie that is
Balling.
He's a
literally
rookie.
almost,
He's
and I
like if
say
we're
that
if we're
almost
if we're
a 50, 45, 90 season.
if we're
Yeah,
being honest, he's
as
having
a
a
rookie.
50, 40,
As a
90
rookie.
season as a
No,
rookie.
45, Bando. His 3-point is 44.
What the
Yeah.
Right, but that's
Yeah.
what I'm
He's
saying.
winning
Where
rookie
is
of the
his
year.
is
He's
his
winning rookie
field
of the
is
year.
his
He's
free
winning
throws
rookie of
at
the year.
is he at
His free
ninety?
throws 87. I checked it today. His
Yeah,
free
his free
throws are
throws are
87.
87.
It's
He had that.
diabolical, Bag. He's
If he
changing
had
things.
that,
I'm
he
not gonna lie, and
We've never
I
seen this from
wanted
a
to bring
rookie.
that up. I love Khan, dude. He's just
I wonder how many more free throws he would have to. He'd probably have
another
to.
Klay Thompson.
And I mean, here's something that this is even more impressive,
Another.
right? With the rate that he's shooting 3-pointers right now, he's averaging currently eight a game. Brandon Miller, right, the same with him. Okay, and then of course LaMelo Ball, we know he gets the majority of his shots off every game. So just to put it into perspective, with those 8 and Brandon Miller, let's say he's doing 8, and we'll just say a soft number for LaMelo is 9. Khan is shooting 44% from 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
In comparison, Brandon Miller, who is still shooting very well from 3, is shooting
38.
37%, almost 38%. LaMelo Ball, still shooting pretty well from 3, is shooting 36%. Con
Mm-hmm.
Knipple, the new addition to the team, is outdueling both of those guys. And like Bag said, these two were supposed to even Con Knipple wasn't even supposed to be better than Miles Bridges this year. If we're going to be quite honest, we thought he was going to be developing behind him, right?
Yeah.
More so, not even starting the way he is now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's big ups to the coaching, right? Because most coaches, they have their roster already set, right? Of the rotation guys that are going to play and who's going to come off the bench. The fact that he was able to say, you know what, I'm not going to stunt the growth of Knipple, right? We're going to give him the minutes that he's deserving because what he's showing in practice and in the minutes that we are giving him in the game, for him to increase in them. And it didn't help that Mikal Bridges got suspended, right, for the whole Isaiah Stewart shit, but that was later in the year. And I'm not going to not and say Kipple didn't get those minutes deservingly already. But I think the suspension was the icing on the cake because the last 12 games for Knipple, bro, he's been balling.
Yeah, Knipple, and even in his last 5 games, he's just been lights out. So I'm really happy that the Charlotte Hornets have been able to find that. Their coach. You brought up coaching bag. It's Charles Lee's second year. The first year, obviously, last year, we kind of have to throw away with that team and that roster and new ownership as well. That's the biggest important factor to Charlotte right now is
Mm-hmm.
the success is new ownership. And yes, we love Michael Jordan. We all acknowledge him as one of the greatest. One, two, three, wherever you put him, he's in the top five, irregardless. He's
He's
definitely
a
in the
horrible
top
owner. He's
three
a horrible
worst
owner.
owners of all time.
He's a horrible
Yes.
owner.
Yes.
He
Unfortunately,
doesn't. He like
Mr. Jordan was not a very good owner.
he can't. He can't see talent. He doesn't know what talent is. If I'm being honest with you.
That is debatable. You could argue that, and it was shown with the Wizards, and obviously with the Charlotte Hornets here. But it's nice to see the Charlotte Hornets. They were when I was a kid, Larry Johnson, Lonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues. That team was always one that I like to watch, and now it's good to see that hopefully LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple, they have their core. They have the core that is going to hopefully bring them the future. And we might see them in this play-in, and I'm not gonna lie. If I see them get in and end up having to play a Pistons team at number one, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the Pistons are. We see them in the regular season. We don't know what they're like in the playoffs just yet. Guys, here it is, NBA Finals favorites. We wanted to talk about this real quick. So, Bags, starting off for you. Who's the two teams out of the East and two teams out of the West that you're looking at?
Out of the West, I mean, I'm gonna give respect to OKC. They are the favorite to come out of there. I want to see Minnesota get past the hump and potentially represent that conference in the finals. In the East, I'm still rocking with Boston. That's a fact. And then low key, I could see New York breaking through, right? Like if it's either Mikal Bridges or OG. Need one of those guys in the basically like seesaw back and forth to be those key guys, to be that key guy in the playoff series, right? Like each one of them need to take over a playoff series in order for them to get over the hump, and they need Cat to play well as well. But I can see New York; they're playing really good way.
Bando, I know you're going to be picking New York, but who's another team out of the East? And give me your two teams out of the West that you're looking at for the finals.
Even though I can't stand them, every time I hear about them, it makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me want to throw up Boston. But I hate. It didn't even sound right.
You know what's up?
It didn't even sound right. Ew. And my two teams coming out the West is the Spurs and OKC.
Yeah, I think those are two good picks. And of course, Tinez, who are your four teams? Two from the East, two from the West.
Let's see here. My two teams from the East. I actually feel a little bit different. I'm gonna go with the Pistons in Boston on this one. I think the Pistons, if anybody, might actually come out. I mean, don't get me wrong, they've had some rough around the edges, especially against some key teams, but as a whole, I think they're pretty ready for playoffs. I mean, Boston, they're always ready. They've always been a winning team. They've always been known for it. So that to me is not surprising either. The only person I really question is Tatum, honestly. Now on the West side, I see it being the Nuggets and the Spurs. I really see more than not if it does boil down to it. I won't be surprised if I see the Spurs knocking out OKC or some other team, vice versa, at some point. I don't really see OKC probably making it to the third round, especially against when you got teams like Denver, you got teams like the Spurs who are really good defense. And Jokic right now, he's licking his chops, man. That man is licking his chops against some of these teams. I know he didn't win against the OKC last time this time, but once playoffs come and once they get their scheme rolling and once Aaron Gordon starts getting his way back into things, oh yeah,
They
I
got beat
think
by
that I think
Minnesota last time.
you said what
Didn't they?
back?
Didn't they get beat by Minnesota? Not last time. The time before that.
I think maybe in 23. Or
When
you talking about
Dallas made
24?
it. I thought when Dallas made it
No,
to the
that
finals.
wasn't. That
That
23
might
was
that might
23
have
was the
been.
year the Nuggets won the championship.
That was
Right,
the
no,
year
that's
the
no, it
Lions
wasn't
won the
23. It was
Yeah,
24 then.
okay, so it was 24, yeah. Okay. Then yeah. I could see it maybe being Minnesota, but I don't know if they will actually get I don't know if they see I don't see
It
it
was. It
being
was.
the
It was
Nuggets getting
24. It
eliminated
was
this year.
24.
I just
It was
don't.
24.
It was 24, okay.
Yeah, it was 24 because
Yeah.
Minnesota and the Nuggets played in the second round.
Yeah,
Then
and
yeah, the second
then
round.
Oh,
I
yeah,
believe
that's
it
what I
went to it went to
thought.
seven
and
Yeah.
then
games. I think it went to
Dallas,
seven
then
games.
Dallas beat what's the name?
And then Dallas went and spanked Minnesota. Went to finals.
Yep.
You know. So I think one of those two teams are gonna go up against OKC, and if one of those two teams do in the first or second round,
I can see the Spurs. I can see the Spurs beating them.
I can see the Spurs. I'm
dude,
not gonna lie.
dude,
I feel like if
if
the
one of
Spurs,
those
if
two
this,
teams face them in the second round, I
They
don't
had their
see
number
OKC
this year.
making out the third.
if
Didn't they
if
sweep
I
them?
don't.
No, the Spurs have only lost one game to the Thunder this year, but the
literally
Spurs
one
have
game.
actually beat them convincingly in, I believe, two out of the four games that they have had. One of them was only the close one. I believe that was the very first game of the season. I can look it up real quick, but yeah, I believe that very first game of the season, the Spurs beat the Thunder by about
106 to
maybe like
109.
yeah, it was a really close game. But then after that,
It was a
it
blowout.
it hasn't looked very good for the Thunder against the
I'm gonna be
Spurs.
I
Yeah,
honest.
the
remember posting in my story
I'm gonna,
earlier.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna be completely honest, bro. If the Spurs and OKC see each other in 7 game series playoffs, the Spurs are beating them in 5.
What places? I don't even think are they in the play-in? The Pelicans.
so
No,
the
they're
Pelicans
out the
are
play.
in. Yeah, they're not
They're
even
out the play.
close to making it
Okay.
this year. The
Okay.
ones that actually are gonna be the closest is. The Trailblazers could
Portland, they got
leapfrog
the
the
10 seed.
Warriors if the Warriors keep playing this bad. If the Warriors keep up this pace of being 3-7 in their last 10, it's not going to look good. The Trailblazers could leapfrog them, take the 9 position, which they would still end up, playing the Blazers and the
Nah.
Warriors. But still,
Graham, I'm
it's
telling
not
you, it might
looking
be the
good.
Clip.
It's not looking good for
Hey,
Golden
don't
State.
sleep on the Clippers either.
Well, the Clippers
They've
are
been doing
currently
pretty
sitting at 8
good.
right now comfortably, but I don't see them leapfrogging the Suns. The Suns have a nice, comfortable lead. So unless the
True.
Suns start going on a really bad losing spree, they've been pretty good this year. They're still staying on the upside. They're 7-3 of their last 10 with winning 4. And they're battling right now the Timberwolves for that position. You have to look from the Lakers down to the Suns. That could change with these last few games at any rate. But right now, it's the Thunder and Spurs 1 and 2 in the West.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 through 7 is right now the way it looks. Any of these games, depending on who is streaking to end the season, it could all flip flop.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm looking at the Spurs and the Thunder. I think it's undeniable. We can't deny the Spurs. We can't point to youth either as being like, oh, well, they're not. Victor Wembanyama is showing that no, we're here now. We're ready now. One team I do find to be tricky though is the Lakers, sitting at the 3rd seed. They seem to play better when it's
Wait,
not
the
all
Lakers
three
are the 3rd
together.
seed?
Lakers are at the
That's
3rd seed right
yeah. They're at
now.
the third. Yeah, they claim
Last
their
Yeah.
way up.
time I
I'm
checked,
pretty
they
sure
were the
Yep.
6th
Nuggets are.
seed.
I'm pretty sure Nuggets are fourth, right?
Nuggets are 5th right now. The Rockets are in
Fifth.
4th, but the
Yeah,
Nuggets,
Rockets are fourth.
That
yeah,
must have
Rockets.
changed. That must have just changed. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Rockets right now, that's a team I'm worried about. They still don't have a good enough ball handler at the point guard position. No
They don't have
offense
a
to Reed
guard. They don't have a
Shepard,
point
young
guard. They need a
person,
point
but
guard.
that missing Fred Van Vliet is showing right now heavily.
Yeah.
But the
As a matter of
Lakers
fact,
are a weird team to me.
can we this is the last question I'll be able to do because I got to get ready to go. Since you brought up Reed, I want to switch over to who you think is going to win Sixth Man of the Year.
Wow. So, sixth man of the year this year. Let's take a look at the candidates.
If I'm not
I
mistaken,
know Peyton Pritchard, I believe, is in there,
yes, Peyton
which I
Pritchard,
didn't think he
Reed
should be,
Shepard,
but
um,
yeah, Naz
Jamie,
Reed, Jaime Jaquez is apparently
yeah,
a candidate,
Nas Reed, Tim
and Keldon
Hardaway,
Johnson as well.
Kelvin Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr.'s up there. Um, Isaiah Stewart, I think.
Yeah. So according to
I think
some
I
of
seen
our
him in there.
friends, Naz Reed is the current leader right now, followed by Reed Shepard, which I'm surprised by Reed Shepard, but I didn't think he would be so high up
I'm
on this
not.
list given the other
I'm
candidates.
not. I'm not, dude. You Graham trust. You're gonna have to look at the Reed Shepard, bro.
Yeah, he's been balling.
That kid's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. For a young
Yeah,
kid like him,
I mean, I guess for me, it's more of what's he
look at
coming
the
back
tape.
from? He played 52 games last year. What's he coming back from? Like
I wouldn't
I
say
don't
it's just coming
understand what
back.
he's coming back from. What he's if
He's
anything,
just
he should
doing
be
better.
up for the
I don't
most
know how to explain
improved.
it. He's just doing better, bro. I don't know what to tell you. You just gotta have
Yeah,
to look
yeah.
at the tape.
I'm not moved by that. I'm not moved by a
Hey,
guy who's barely averaging 13 points
all
being
right.
the
I'm
sixth
just
man of the
saying. I
year.
mean,
I'm
if
not
you
moved
want,
by
hey,
that.
I ain't gonna lie to you, brother, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
between 13 and 16 is about what you really get from your sixth man. So,
Yeah,
I look
true.
at players like Keldon Johnson who are against him
And
and
he's
Jaime
efficient too.
Jaquez who I think are doing much better and
yeah, I
who
understand that.
could be there for that award
Efficiently
instead.
wise, though, I don't know.
That
He's
is true.
pretty efficient.
I mean,
I
I like
mean,
VJ.
Keldon Johnson's more efficient. But that, like I said, we're picking we're picking apples to apples here if we're being
True.
honest.
That is true.
Very true.
Yeah, they're all worthy candidates. I think we're just picking, trying to pick bad apples out of a bunch of good apples. So it's, now you're really starting to split cores here.
My bad. I went deep in the fire.
Isaiah Stewart is fourth on that list right now, as one of the
Not
odds
surprising.
leaders. And then our boy Tim Hardaway Jr., who was brought up, he is currently sitting at sixth.
I like that. I like that. Acknowledging a good veteran. I like that. He's probably one of those that definitely deserves it.
I mean,
Especially for
Bag,
the long
since
dedication he's done for a lot of teams. He's always been a great role player, in my opinion. So,
well, one person I was wondering who I saw on this list, but I haven't had a chance to watch the Thunder a lot besides the nationally televised games this year. But it is the Jay Mitchell. I haven't been able to see a lot of him. Currently, he is sitting just above Tim Hardaway Jr.
oh well.
So, what do you guys think about Mitchell from the Thunder being in the running for the sixth man of the year?
I'm kind of surprised. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
am too. I am too.
Like you said, I mean, I don't watch too many because they're not televised over here on the East Coast. So
Yeah, right.
that's kind of surprising to me. I could see, I see why Reed Shepard's there. I see why, Vasquez, um, VJ. I see why he's on there. Same thing with Naz Reed. I think Naz Reed is a very integral piece to that Minnesota team, right? He stretches the floor as a big man, gets in the paint, gets timely offensive rebounds, kick back out. So, I mean, I can see why Naz is the favorite, but me personally, I'd probably stick with Tim Hardaway Jr. because he's turned into a real good 3-and-D guy, right? Like he's checking the best perimeter player, but also still staying at a very high efficiency, especially at the
And for
three-pointer.
long term as well. For long
Oh
term
Yeah,
yeah,
solution. So,
yeah.
for some
To your
teams, they're
point,
not. That's
Bag. Tim Hardaway, 60% efficiency and 41
oh.
from three this year.
Did you
yeah.
just say 60%?
60 from the floor, bro. Yes.
Yes, he is at 60%
My
efficiency field goal
God.
percentage. And his numbers look very good. And you're right, his defensive rating is good as well. So I like that pick. Actually, I would like to see him more in second place for this award. Um, but
What
that
place is he at right now?
currently
Six.
he's sitting down in sixth. He's not, and that all depends if you,
That's
and that all
shocking.
depends of who you're looking at too. It depends on the odds makers because sometimes he's sitting at fifth, and a couple of them here I see he's even sitting down in 10, which is
Crazy.
odd. So
That's insane.
but gentlemen, let's touch on the games real quick. We're gonna get out of here because I'm sure we've wasted everybody's time listening to us yabber on. But right now, we've had some games completed already. So Pistons beat the Grizzlies 126 to 110. We had the Raptors beat the Suns 122 to 115. We had the Cavaliers, Tinez, pulling out the victory against the Mavericks 138 to 105. Bando's Knicks pulling out the victory against the Pacers 101 to 92. And fourth quarter finishing up, Rockets Pelicans tied at 100 with a minute 34 left. Weird. The Rockets are, I don't know what's going on in Houston right now. That's something I think we should touch upon next
You
week.
said
A
the
little bit of
Rockets.
weird in the water right there. And of course, we got the game starting with the Timberwolves and the Warriors, Jazz, Trailblazers, and Bulls Clippers coming up here in 10 minutes. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Bags, any thoughts you want to leave us with before we go?
Just everybody, good luck on your tickets if you put some in. Enjoy this beautiful episode of the Dribble on the Not Move podcast. It's the gang bag flock in the building. Until next week, until next time, fellas.
And Bando, how about you, my friend?
I'll say go Knicks.
Simple and sweet as always. And Tinez, how about you?
Well, like my old friend Coach C once always told me, and he told me this probably once the end of the NFL season ended. So I think this is probably going to be the theme for the rest of the season. Count your blessings, everyone. Count your fucking blessings.
And with that, I'll leave you guys with thank you for joining the Not Move podcast. Thank you for joining the Dribble. We are going to be back Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is the time because we got our friends ahead of us, the UFC podcast with our boy Jimmy, who is breaking down all that great MMA action. Jimmy is top notch. He's always going to fill you in with the good stuff. Check out our boy Robert on Tuesdays, Ringside Rewind. Check me out on Thursdays for the hockey show in the Wickets. And of course, we can't wait to get back with football action. And Sunday, 4 p.m., we are going to have a North Round Table. We're going to have Coach Common. Everybody loves Coach. I know I do. We're going to have my boy Bags. We're going to have my boy Tinez. And we're going to be talking about the Steelers and Ravens, what moves were made for them in the AFC North. Everybody, thank you for sticking around. We'll catch you next week.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.